you go.
What up? What up? How y'all doing out there on this good Thursday?
Yes.
It is for some officially Christmas season.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I don't know what the rule is around that, but it just seemed like people just skip Thanksgiving.
I know just how you skip this intro. Welcome to another episode of Love and Business with Lemoyne and Crystal Robinson. We're super excited to have you guys tonight. We need you to do a favor for us. What we do every Thursday night. We need you to hashtag live. Tell us where you're watching from.
Where you at?
Then we need you to share with some friends and family. We need you to hit that share button, hit that like button, hit that share button, tag a couple of folks. Tell them to come on in because we got some stuff to talk about tonight.
Come on in,
all
y'all.
right.
Come on in.
Got us an official intro because Lemoyne just wants to talk about Christmas for some reason.
She jumped out with it.
I'm not buying nothing.
She jumped out with it. I think that may be why I had it on my mind. I'm trying to see the Christmas present or something.
Oh well, hey, we'll see about that. But I wasn't thinking about buying anything.
I mean, we went like 10 years or something without buying gifts.
It's been a minute, but who's counting? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know, but we had a purpose behind it.
All right. We appreciate you guys telling us where you're watching from tonight. Make sure y'all hit the share button. Tell some other people that y'all watching tonight.
Tag some friends.
Tell them
bring
people
them on in.
Stop watching that sorry football game and come in here tonight so we can talk about some love and some business.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
We got some good stuff to talk about. I'm excited.
No doubt about it.
Are you yawning already? We haven't even started.
I was burping.
Okay,
a
great. Because I'm like at least at 8:45 is typically when you go in. All right.
No, not yawning.
Do you have anything that's unimportant that you want to talk about tonight?
Not really. I guess the Christmas thing. I just realized how many people, starting to put up Christmas lights and
I've been listening to Christmas music while I cook.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, I came in the house and the Temptations was on. The Silent Night type deal. I mean, that's like Christmas Eve music. You know what I mean? Like you can't just play that on a normal Christmas. Or normal. It wasn't even. I mean, the beginning of November.
So you can play Christmas music whenever you want to. Has anybody else started listening to Christmas music? It's people that have put up their tree. It's people that have put up their Christmas lights.
Man, that's
I mean, people are in the Christmas spirit. So what?
What about? I mean, I'm just saying, you got a whole really a season of November.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? 30 or 25 days ain't enough.
I'll listen to Christmas music in May if I want to.
But
it's good music.
I mean, some of it is now for real. Now Mariah Carey, this Christmas, or even Chris Brown this Christmas.
Yes, that was the first song I listened to.
Yeah, that was a banger. That movie, when would that movie come out?
A long time ago.
That's what I'm saying. It seemed like it, but I watch it this Christmas. Yeah, for sure.
I will too.
I will. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's cool, but I think people have different, households have their different timings.
We don't have a rule. Yeah. It's just whenever we feel like it. I mean, of course,
but we the same house that probably we waited 3 or 4 days before Christmas to put up a Christmas tree.
Okay, but you can still sing the Christmas music. It don't matter.
Oh, I gotta make sure I say Christmas.
We know you don't know how to talk. It is A-okay. We clearly know
tree.
That you're not gonna necessarily talk about it like how it's supposed to be talked about.
You gonna know what I'm talking about because I'm talking about what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. Don't act like that.
You're right. We know exactly.
Like y'all putting up Christmas decorations yet, or playing Christmas music, y'all. I mean, what are y'all already in the Christmas spirit? Because that it'll take away from the whole Black Friday thing and everything.
We don't even do Black Friday
but
anymore.
A lot of people do, but it seems like that's changing because they starting to do like online.
Everything is online. So I'm gonna listen to Christmas music right now because I want to. And that's that.
What were we thinking? Just getting up at 3 a.m. and standing in Target in the line at Target to get some 503 account sheets.
It was a thing to do.
I know, man. And then we couldn't even get them, and we ordered them online, like 14, in the parking
15 years ago, man.
But we did it though.
We did. We're not doing it anymore.
No, we hadn't done that.
All right, I'm ready to jump into tonight's episode. So the folks that's late coming, they're gonna miss the beginning parts of this. But I guess I need to do a short recap. I don't want to go too deep off into these, but if y'all have been listening for the last
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes, we have been talking about the millionaire mentality, and so we're gonna finish it tonight. Even if we don't finish it tonight, we're gonna finish it tonight. So
it will be finished.
It shall be finished tonight. So again, if you don't have your people on here, you need to get them on here because we are closing out the Millionaire Mentality tonight. Okay. Yeah. So the first week, I think it was, we talked about vision. We talked about having consistency. We talked about not letting your distractions distract you. We talked about not being fearful and having a resolute belief. And then in the second week, we talked about only two things because Lemoyne wouldn't stop going back to the work ethic. So last week we only got to two of them, which was your work ethic, having a good work ethic, and then missing information. Right. And so those were the things that we went over for the last 2 weeks as it relates to the Millionaire Mentality, just trying to help the people. Because again, we started this series because we get a lot of, people asking us, how did we start? And it's usually, like I said before, the loaded questions. It's always, what mistakes did you guys make? Or how do you do what you do? How do you have so many businesses? Blah, blah, blah. Like we always get those same types of questions. And for us, honestly, it was difficult to try to figure out how to answer those questions in one setting. I came up with the idea of trying to figure out over the years, what are some of the things that we were able to do to help us to be successful in business. And so far, that's our list. I don't know what did I just name? How many did I name? That was like 7, 4, 5, 6. That was 6. It was 6.
Yeah.
I named 6. So we have 3 more tonight that we want to share. And so it was your idea to have dialogue regarding that.
Yeah. I think we'll share it. And let's start like this, man. I mean, from your favorite one of your favorite movies,
what's that?
So when did you first fall in love with wisdom?
No,
with hip hop, right?
That does not.
When
that
did you
does not
first fall in
flow
love with
at all with this one.
Well, it does because we talk about like information gaps and things like that. So one of the things that I think that has really, or when did you realize that having a mentor was a game changer for you? Or when did you, what was the moment, or what was the situation where you was like, man, if I had not had that information from that person, this could have went way left field, or it would have been a struggle. Like, do you have that moment? Because I think mentorship has been a huge component to the start of the journey, the middle of the journey, and the continuation of it.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know that there was like a particular moment.
Yeah.
But I will say, so the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is having a circle of wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay. I think when we were first doing, when we first started doing network marketing, and we would go to Dream Builders a lot. So Dream Builders was a spot here in Slidell.
Forget about Dream Builders?
I don't know, but we were doing network marketing, and so we would have like some of our meetings there. And Will Rochelle and Ron Washington was there pretty much every single day. And so I would leave, when I got off work. Well, I was working for the government still at the time, but when I got off work, I would go, I go over to Dream Builders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we would just be over there. We get Caitlin from daycare, and we would meet, at Dream Builders, and we'd sit on the couch and we would just, dream. Literally. We just talk about, the businesses that we were, working to build at the time.
Yeah.
I was just introduced to government contracting then. We started learning about HubZone and stuff like that. Like while we were there, it was just it was a plethora of information. While we were at Dream Builders, just sitting on that couch every day. And I'm, watching Caitlin, run around the little floor with her little afro and flower in her hair.
Because it wasn't being combed.
No. I didn't know how to do none of that. Jaleesa hadn't moved here yet. So it was literally straight afro all the time for my baby.
With the little flower with natural.
That's all she had. Okay. A little afro puff, and we was good with it. And she was happy about it.
Yeah.
But Dream Builders was I think was the jump start for us, understanding that, having mentors was important for us. And since that's our first one, for me, the circle of wisdom is super, super important.
Yeah.
So I'm 38 years old, and I I maybe stay in contact with like one or two people that's actually like my age.
Yeah,
Everybody that I talk to on a regular basis is at least 10 to 15 years older than me. Like I don't have any close friends that's that's my age. I mean, I talk to people that's my age, obviously, but my close circle of people, literally, I kid you not, we have went to more 50th birthday parties than we have people that, you know what I'm saying, that are actually our age. And for me, it's intentional because these people are dropping wisdom, whether it's about business, whether it's, marriage, life, it's parenting, like they've all experienced things that,
on another level.
I'm getting there, but I'm able to jot down notes every time I have a conversation with somebody because they are so much wiser because they've had more life experience. Yeah. And so for me, the circle of wisdom is super important because they help to shape my mindset when I'm hanging around people that, are older than me. Then, that life, their lifestyles, I'm able to see it. Obviously, I aspire to be like a lot of these people. And so it's super helpful for me to be around people that are wiser, than I am. So I think having a circle of wisdom is paramount.
Yeah, I mean,
for business.
I think Dream Builders was definitely the catalyst or a catalyst. We'd sit over there for hours, literally. And the deal is, we had an idea of things at the moment. We were focused on building our network marketing business, but I think it gave us the room to dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They was called Dream Builders, right? But like in reality, sitting there talking to a gentleman that we call Mr. Billionaire, he was a wealth of wisdom, just had, organization. I mean, he was a dreamer. And Will Rochelle, Mr. Dream Builder himself, he was, he is, they still are dreamers, but just to sit there and just talk through, different ideas and things like that and get excited about it, right? To the point where we could start seeing brick by brick, something happening. And I think, that was part of it. I think we really got excited because this, where we are now, definitely came with its own challenges. But I think, when you can build a small piece of it, and then you start seeing it, you're like, hey, that's
even in the sense of just having the meetings there, and we was packing out the place. You know what I'm saying? It was it's just a storefront building. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, we went from having 2 and 3 people at our meetings to, like literally we were packing out the room, and it was super exciting to see that. And those were just the beginning stages of business for us. Like we didn't have State Farm at the time, and we were both still working, full-time jobs.
Well, and let me ask you this: what do you think? Because back in 2015, we did the Wealth Empowerment Tour.
We did.
Where we had Dr. Dennis Kimbrough came down.
It was 2014 because that was still prior to State Farm as well.
Oh, it was. It was. I was still with JP Morgan. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Dennis Kimbrough. He authored Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice, a black version,
the Black choice,
the Black choice. And then we had John Jones, who was a entrepreneur. He was very high up in the company, that
multi-million-dollar earner, 100 times over in different companies.
We had the youngest superintendent in America there, a guy by the name of Bernard Chandler.
Steve, get on here because I know he's coming.
But it was and a few other people, but we that was part of us wanting to be intentional about being around people that influenced us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In a positive way, in the way that we wanted to. And the deal was, we literally sponsored that out of our pocket. Like we paid for every speaker, everything out of our pocket, the food, the hotels, all of that. I think it may have cost us like $8,000 or something.
It was closer to 10.
Okay. So, but that was something that we did out of our pocket. What would you say? How would you say that served us in that moment and in the future?
But for me, it made me realize, that whatever we set our mind to, we could do. you know, because it was kind of foreign then to be, flying people in.
Oh, it was very foreign
for events and stuff
on
like
your money,
that.
you know,
Yeah, especially on your own dime.
That was very
But
foreign.
that was foreign. But it really it literally helped me to dream even bigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And then that was kind of one of the first times that I had spoke on a stage. To that degree, I would say, and I kind of felt alive, in that moment. But with the people that were there, just listening to them speak, like I still got that notebook from that, from that event of just, writing these notes. And I'm talking about the wealth of knowledge from those people that was on that stage. It sticks with me, even now.
Exactly.
And so that was a super important, moment for us. But we wouldn't have done that event if we weren't around otherwise people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, we were inspired by some pretty wise people.
Exactly. So, I mean, we read the book, or Crystal read the book, full disclosure. She
you still wasn't reading in 2014.
She enlightened me on it, right?
Most
I read
definitely.
the back part, get the cliff
just
notes.
Started reading in like 2021.
I'll Google the cliff notes, say, what's the sum of this? What is the summary of this? But we read the book, or she reads the book, Think and Grow Rich, the Napoleon Hill, and then we read she's introduced to Think and Grow Rich by Dennis Kimbrough, right? That's co-authored with them. So the thought of just even reaching out to this guy, right, to even reach out to this guy, because a lot of your mentors started in a book.
Absolutely.
Right.
Every book, almost every book, except for the ones that's dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've gotten an opportunity to, at least meet these people. And I think that that's what's super cool too, is that, when we set our sights, just like we talked about on the first episode, on having a vision, when we set our sights on something, whether you believe it or not, that vision can come to pass.
Absolutely.
If you, if you stay focused on it. And for me, everybody that's in my circle of wisdom right now, I used to just watch them on YouTube, watch them on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Every coach that I've had,
I think Miles Monroe may be the only one that you have not met.
I can't meet him.
I know, that's what I'm just saying.
But
I think we did something to help represent, when we sent when Pastor Jenkins went to the conference.
That was super cool. Super cool.
But I think it's a big thing, I don't want to breeze over it, but you were being mentored from afar when people didn't even really know your name.
Yeah, but that's the whole point, of sharing this information, is that a lot of people think that their mentor has to be somebody that's in their backyard, right? Yeah. Like you got to be somebody that you can reach out and touch. Yeah. And when in 2012, 2013, and 14, a lot of, what I would consider my circle of wisdom were people that I could only reach out and touch via a book. Yeah. Or Facebook. Well, not even really Facebook at the time. It was YouTube. So either a book or on YouTube. Yeah. And a lot of times I think that we disregard how easy it is to have a mentor. Tony Robbins was my mentor. Now I've seen him in person, but I've never, I ain't
shook
been
his hand.
But I have seen him speak in person. But Tony Robbins was my mentor back in 13 and 14. But then of course Eric Thomas was my mentor
the
via
first
YouTube.
Time we saw him, it was $25.
Yeah. I think it was $20.
$20.
It was $20 to see him. I paid a lot more to coach with him since then. Yeah. But I think that just speaks to having a strong vision and setting forward to it. But you asked about what moment was it that sparked it for me. I would say the very first time when I knew that I needed a mentor or a coach or whatever was when I heard LaShawn Holland speak for the first time.
Now okay. Yeah. Now what about that moment
she was speaking my language. She was talking about money.
Okay.
But she was talking about it from a perspective that I had never in my life heard before. Like she's looking like money, on the stage. She's looking like money. Yeah. And she talking like, man, you have, even though I had heard these scriptures before, I could hear the level of conviction that she's talking, as she is, teaching us, because it was at a women's conference in DC or at VCMI.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You traveled.
I traveled to see her. But at the time, I didn't know she existed. I didn't know she existed until that day. She comes to speak. Okay. But she is talking about wealth. And I'm like, I ain't never heard nobody talk about wealth like this. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. You hear people talk about, especially at that time, I think this was in this might have been like 2012. She talking,
that was a minute ago.
Yeah. She wasn't like the money, the cars, the, it wasn't, she wasn't talking about that. She was literally talking about kingdom wealth. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, this is different. And I was so engaged to the point. It was at one point I had got on my knees. Like what? I was in the sanctuary, like on my knees. Cause I was like, man, this is like, I felt so heavy from that information. I was like, yeah, that I'm supposed to be that kind of wealthy.
So was it heavy as like an excitement or a conviction?
Yeah. Excitement. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay. It was overwhelming to know that I could experience wealth to that degree. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like it was fresh. Okay. And so I'm like, man, I got to meet this lady. You know what I'm saying? And I go out there, you know what I'm saying, in the lobby, and LaShawn, she out there at the time, of course, it's still CDs and DVDs.
Yeah. What was it? The Money Made Easy or something like that?
It was the Money Blueprint. Okay. Is the CD that I bought, because at the time that was the only thing that I could afford. She had a
29. No, I don't know how much it was.
You don't, because you weren't there. It was probably like $15, but that was literally all that I could afford that was on her table. She had other programs, that was up in the hundreds and thousands at the time, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't do that. But I listened to that CD, literally until it was so scratched up that I couldn't listen to it. You know what I'm saying? In my car anymore.
CD player,
literally
for that long.
I'm talking about for probably 2-3 years. But I took in that information so much so that after the Wealth Empowerment event that we did, our pastors were so inspired by it. They called and invited LaShawn to come speak at our church. And who do they get to chauffeur them around for the weekend? Lemoyne and Crystal Robinson.
You're right. You sure right, man. We were pregnant at the time.
Yeah. These people, you know what I'm saying, be out here talking about manifesting and all that, but this is God's divine plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I don't listen to this lady's CD. She don't know me from, nobody.
I mean, we shared it with our whole family.
Yeah. Like, and then here legit. We come, we get to escort these people around. And now fast forward to this day.
We were their driver.
LaShawn is in my circle of wisdom, but I talk to her, at least a couple times a week, whether we, text or message, you know what I'm saying?
Make vacation together.
We're vacationing together, you know what I'm saying? All this kind of stuff. And I'm saying all of this to say that it's super important who's in your circle and who's influencing you, but you also have to be very intentional about building that circle of wisdom.
You have to.
Very intentional, because in order for you to have a millionaire mentality, these people are going to help shape that mentality for you.
Exactly.
One way or the other. Either they're going to repel your millionaire mentality, or they're going to help to cultivate it. And it's important that the people that you choose to be in your circle of wisdom are actually imparting information on you that's going to help you to grow and to be better,
But so when you're doing that, your circle is not like on Facebook where you got to get rid of a friend to get another friend or anything like that. But would you say that naturally, when you started to, like engulf yourself in those, in the different, friends and things like that, like when we was going to Dream Builders and stuff like that, did naturally it just started to be where you didn't have a desire to have conversations with?
Absolutely, because the vision was set. The vision was already set that we're on a path, we're on a trajectory, we got somewhere to go. So now negativity can't be in my space anymore, right? Like now I can only hang with people that are dreaming. Whether you fully understand what that dream is or not, I at least need you to focus on something that ain't negative.
And I was like coined in the beginning as a dream killer. Oh, because I wanted to be a little bit more real with it, right? I would ask questions because I want to know, like how, okay, well, what's the plan? Like let's figure it out. I'm bringing it back down. And she's like, bro, let's be on Mars for a little bit. Like we don't have to just, let gravity take hold of us and come straight back down. Let's just be on Mars for a little bit and get excited about it.
Well, I think that, it's a good segue to the number 2, which is community. Don't confuse the two. Don't confuse the circle of wisdom, with community.
Yeah, your mentors with your community.
Yeah, because the circle of wisdom are people obviously that you aspire to be. There are people that that have way more wisdom, currently, than you have, but you can also, count on those folks to help you to get to where it is that you want to go. But your community are, that's a group of peers, right? These are people
them
that
your classmates
are on the same path,
right? That's what I mean.
In the same mindset. They're laser beam focused as well. They're building, they're growing and becoming as you are, right? And now, unfortunately, sometimes what happens is when we build these communities, not everybody continues on the journey. Right. But it's important that you at least support each other along the way. So for me, in building community, I was intentional about building community with people that knew how to dream. So even in the time frame of which you didn't necessarily want to dream, if I had something where I'm just like, I need to be gung ho about it, I might have to make a phone call. I might have to make a phone call to somebody in the community because I'm like, man, Lamont's just not getting it right now. Like, I know he gonna get it at some particular point, but he probably gonna have to see a lot of more fruit from what it is that I'm saying before he actually 100% jump on the bandwagon.
And let me frame it right. It's not. I don't think it definitely wasn't that I didn't believe in the vision. That wasn't it at all. It was I then wanted to start putting it together in my own mind versus letting the divine wisdom and come and allow it to play out. I wanted to do it under my own power and allow us to be able to do it. So when I come to the nuts and bolts of it, when you saying, hey, we go do this, and I'm like, okay, well, what contractor we using? Well, who you, what I'm saying, what we doing? It's like, hold on, man, let's just dream about it. You know what I mean? Let's just do that. And in some instances, because reality is gonna get to us regardless. So why we ain't got to rush it. We don't have to rush it. It's gonna be there. It's gonna get there at some point. So allow yourself to dream a little bit, right? I allow yourself to dream a little bit, because that is one of the things. So Crystal got to the point where, and so that she wouldn't come off of her high, right? Like she wouldn't be like on a downer when she got off the phone with me. She would call another friend first.
Yeah, phone a friend.
Yeah, she phone a
go
friend,
straight to
right?
The community, man.
She go to the community, she share with them, and then she may tell me on the other end.
Oh, but it's gonna be sandpaper dry by the time I get older.
Yeah, because she doesn't.
But like, I mean, but the community support, right, is super important. And so I'm intentionally engaged in some type of community, all the time, unless I'm like in one of these seasons where there's a whole bunch of stuff, that has just got to get done. And I'm focusing in on that. But very rarely am I not engaged, in some type of mastermind group or, some type of intensive community. Like I've been doing that, I think, since when I do Game Changers. That was like my no, that was I think I was doing two at one time, because I did Velocity with LaShawn, and then I ended up doing Game Changers with Eric Thomas. And then we did a spinoff from that and ended up, building a whole nother community from that.
Lemon Squeeze.
Yeah, we was doing Lemon Squeezes with a group. And then
I'm talking about, she was on the clock. She was in the State Farm agency just on Lemon Squeeze 2 hours.
I was probably 3 hours. It could be 3-4 hours a day we was on there. Now, I'm not saying that everybody has the time and the flexibility to do that, but at this point, it's like 2016, 17. So I had the flexibility to both, be working in our agency at the time and, being in on these calls. So I'm also saying be careful, right? Because sometimes the community can be one of those distractions that we talked about.
Can be, right.
On the first week, the first part one of this series. But for me, that wasn't a distraction. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't, because
for me, it was very intense. But we were hashing out ideas, concepts, strategies. I even ended up building my own community out of that. I had launched a community at the time, and that's when communities wasn't popping like what they doing now. I had launched the Dominate community with my brand Dominate with Crystal. And I would meet with a group of ladies every 2 weeks. We would literally be on there hashing out dreams and visions every 2 weeks.
Strategically put them together.
It was it was good, for a season. And then
it was great.
Yeah, it really was. And what happened was the Amazon opportunity came about.
Yeah.
And so I knew at that point, look,
this is gonna be a lot.
I think this is gonna be a lot, you know. So I ended up having to shut the community down. But I value community so much so that I had my own. Like I really believe that community is one of those, when people say the cheat codes. I really believe that the three things that we're talking about tonight are the ultimate cheat codes when we're talking about the millionaire mentality. And for me, like we even I see AB is on here. We even have a marriage community, right? Like there we have community for any and everything because it's just that important. I think, we all 100%. Should have, subsets of communities for anything that we value as important. Even, with Sean Strickland, I'm a part of the Soul Shift Inner Circle community. Shout out to Pastor Sean. I do believe we're doing an open house for that. I think it's next month sometime. I don't want to throw no dates out here and then folks be trying to, hold me to it. But I know we're doing an open house. It may be a virtual something. Open house for that. And we're going to be talking about the Soul Shift Inner Circle community, which is an amazing community for me, where we literally work on ourselves from the inside out, legit from the inside out. And so I really like community. And it's been beneficial for us, not just in business, but in our relationship,
right. Around the board.
In our personal lives. And I think that, it's foolish for a person to think that they can do a journey like this, if you even consider a millionaire mentality of any sort, like it would be rather foolish to believe that you can do a journey, to a millionaire status and be alone.
Yeah. And I don't even want to just keep tying it to the millionaire because, the Bible says, I wish that you prosper as your soul prospers. Right. So just being a better person, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to get the yuck out of your system, out of your thoughts, out of your space, right? Your mentals, so that you can see the vision and really, get on that path. Because I think that's what really started to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna circle back to the vision part and being and dreaming, right? And I want to say this and then we'll press, but I think, as we went on, I realized that it is super important to dream as big as you can on the front end, right? When the idea first hits you, to allow it to, allow yourself to dream as much as possible, because when you put your feet to the road and your hands to the plow and you start getting after it, it becomes a little bit harder to see where you are or to see a more and more. But if you have that vision already, right? If you know, okay, well, hey, I know we can do this. I desire to do this and go a little bit further and a little bit further. Like if you know that that's the plan from the beginning, then you can keep pressing toward that. But if you feel like, hey, I just need to get started, then I can build, you will build to it. But a lot of times it's harder to see the forest when you're right up against a tree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you can see it from the high level view and then go down and start plowing at that, then it makes a difference.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, it makes a real difference. So
yeah. But for me, man, I just think that the community piece is, something that I think a good bit of people shy away from it. Number one, even though it's been around for a minute now, sometimes people feel a little weird, about paying, to be in, communities or, groups like that.
They paying for friends.
Yeah. And it's really not, I mean, don't get me wrong. In all of these communities, I have, gained lifelong friends. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But the goal and objective is to put myself in the right type of environment.
And that's it at the end of the day.
Right. And if that costs me something, I'm A-okay with
right,
that. Like I don't mind paying to be in the right environment.
Absolutely.
It's almost like if I wanted to, be a doctor, I'd have to pay to be in medical school.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think about it like this, like when we used to go, like to the casino or something like that when we was in Vegas or something along those lines, years and years back, like 08, 09 type deal, maybe before then. And we would play, like I would play blackjack, but I really wasn't that good at it. And I remember I'd sit at the table with like people, and if I was only playing $5, a $5 hand, if you couldn't do $5, I wasn't playing. So I take $40 and I play like that. But people that wanted to like big gamble, like $400 and $500 a hand, they didn't like sitting at the table with me, right? Because they felt like I couldn't play.
Yeah.
So they have high stakes rooms for those individuals, right? So if those individuals that want to play high stakes, that felt like that they were experts or better, they had that they was on a different mission. It wasn't just leisure and fun. Then there's a room for that, right? But those individuals that just want to just hey, lackadaisically go about it, then hey, there's a room for that too. So that's what I say when I when we look at communities. Like we can not be intentional about being a part of a community or something like that, but when we want to make sure that we're intentional with surrounding ourselves with other individuals that are pressing toward the mark just as hard as we do, and they speak about it with their financial commitment, then I'm okay with that, right? Because I know that that's a sign or a signal that they on the same journey.
The other thing that comes from it that is a strong network. Like
absolutely,
I think that a lot of people don't consider that a strong network sometimes can get you to your next.
100%.
And it legitimately happened for us. Like the mastermind that I was in, one of the first masterminds that I was in, one of the other people in the community, they recommended the Amazon DSP program to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I paid to be in that program, but here we are, years later. And I'm like, that was life-changing for me.
I mean, game changer,
and if I hadn't have signed up for that program, right? If I, at the time, I think it was $8,000 to be in that in that program. And it is pretty much probably quadrupled now.
I asked every question I could before we spent that. I was like, man, what is this?
That $8,000 program, gave us access to be able to, operate our first multi-million-dollar business. Now you can say what you want to say about paying to be in communities, but it pays to be in the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're willing to, continue to put your, continue to do the work.
Because absolutely, you have to do the work. But I'm in there doing the work, and she's like, you know what? I just saw something that I think you would probably be good at doing. Because I'm in the community doing the work, and I'm having, different conversations. But I paid to be in the room with other people that can have those, those types of conversations.
It's a little different than what you might hear in the barbershop or the hair salon, or they ain't talking about the jet beauty of the week or something like that.
Because by the time it gets to those spaces, you know what I'm saying? Now the program got 20,000 applicants. They don't need to, what I'm saying? We ain't even got to talk about it no more.
So people pay for exclusivity.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like when you're in a community, it's like you got 40 eyes, you know what I'm saying, looking at opportunities. That's willing to come back and share.
And they all of the energy is focused in that direction. Of opportunity.
Exactly.
And so just being in those types of community, I know we're harping on it, but it's super important. And I'm saying it because a lot of people, they still think it's foreign, or they don't think that they need it, or they pay the funds, to be in those types of communities and then not necessarily fully engaged, in the way. And then they'll say, okay, well, it doesn't work. It's just like, no, you don't work, right? Those communities work. And I'm a living witness, that I've been in communities that have legit changed my life.
I think communities, masterminds are a cheat code, because you got a number of brains in the room, right? That's just really hashing through stuff. Just talking out ideas, and it's like sounding boards. And
Edwin got a point, man. All communities, aren't created equal, which is why
you're right.
It's important that you vet out, the type of community. Obviously, so for me, when I'm joining a community, it really is more so about first of all, who's leading it. That I need to know who they are, what they're about, and integrity is super important for me, so are they leading in integrity, and are they taking me somewhere, that I actually want to go? Because if I look at the leader of that particular community, they're going to draw a certain type of person, right? And so I'm like, hey, okay, you're attracting me. So let me see what you're about. And then, what I'm saying, I'll decide, if I want to be a part of that community. But there's some communities that I, even though it looks pretty good that I would enjoy, because there may be, like maybe the type of group or whatever of people, that they attract, they just might not
that ain't
gel. No, it might
right.
not gel well with me,
Exactly.
So, and I've been in a program like that before where I'm just like, man, it's good, but it's just it's like different,
right.
So I would get the information that I needed and I would get out,
right.
Like I was like, all right, well, let me get everything I need from here and, go on about my way. And sometimes it takes that. I'm not saying that you're going to always find the right group, all the time. Sometimes you have to cultivate it.
Right. But every community that we've been a part of is like we were introduced through literary works or YouTube or something like that. So it wasn't like, you just
I'm studying their information for some time.
Exactly. So you get the gist of it,
Yeah.
of what the essence of, what they're talking about is.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, okay, well, now let me just be intentional about going this direction. So absolutely, you gotta vet it out and make sure that it's purposeful and that it is attaching to your purpose and your mission for sure, because if not, then you just being around other people, you know.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, man, this is my last time saying this. If you're not a part of a community, you need to find one that fits you. Just being on a journey, entrepreneurship in general it's a lot of moving parts. And it makes me feel so much better to be able to pick up the phone and have a conversation, with somebody that understands where I am, but is also, cheering for me, in a moment, especially if I, happen to be discouraged for something, which I'm not going to even lie to you, don't happen often. No. But I do feel like I have a circle, my circle of wisdom that I can go to, which I typically go to first.
Yeah.
If I'm in a down moment, and then my community, when I want to celebrate. Now, let me tell you what I did.
Go ahead.
Yesterday.
Go ahead.
I did a backwards move.
Okay.
I went to my circle of wisdom to celebrate yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all how y'all need to distinguish between where you go for what. Okay. So the first thing we talked about tonight was circle of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing we talked about was a community.
Yep.
And typically, communities of your peers,
Mm-hmm.
I called my circle of wisdom yesterday.
Yep, sure did.
So yesterday I did something I've never done before. I went to a foreclosure sale for the very first time. And I actually bid on a property and I actually won. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I know. Clap, clap, clap. Yeah, you got your little sound effects. You should have hit it from my little claps. You don't even know where your claps at? Okay, that's good. They probably should be on mute. Anyway, I go to the foreclosure sale. I do this whole here, man. I went in the property. I call I call Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
Now Sean is she's my friend. She really is my friend.
Yeah, I like her a lot. Like her, my husband, man, they good people.
They are. But I called Sean Strickland and I said, "You got 3 minutes?" And she was like, "Yeah, I got 3 minutes." Mind you, we ended up staying on the phone for almost 2 hours.
I know.
So I said, "You got 3 minutes?" And she said, "Yeah, I got 3 minutes. Tell me what you got." I said, I got a moment of celebration. I said, I got some excitement and some celebration. She said, "Okay, bring it on.
Come on, talk to me."
So I tell her I go to the I said I went to the foreclosure sale today, and I said, believe it or not, I bid on a property and I won. I said, I have never in my life went and bought a house in less than 30 seconds.
I know, right?
Like, this is insane. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the phone like, oh my God, like I bought a house in 30 seconds. And she's like, oh, wow. Like, that's amazing. She was like, well, how much did it cost? I said, well, here's the other kicker. I only had to pay 10%.
Yeah.
I said, and so I go through all of this stuff and I tell her about even why I went. I was like, well, my banker, told me that I should probably go, to these sales or whatever.
We had been before, but we didn't.
We had been before, and we were scared. First of all, we didn't win because we were scared, and we wasn't finna be bidding like them people. No. This was like 8-9 years ago. We went for the first time. Yeah. It was a minute. It was a minute ago.
Okay. It wasn't yesterday, but
but anyway, so I tell her about this excitement. Mind you, Nah, Pastor Sean is in my circle of wisdom, but she's my friend. So I probably was blurring community with circle of wisdom yesterday, just a little bit. And so she was like, oh man, 10%, that ain't bad. She was like, well, when you got to pay the rest? I said, man, they give me 30 days. I said, all right. And so she said, so what you gonna do? You gonna pay cash for it or something? I was like, well, I could, but I talked with my banker or whatever. They, he was like, they'll hook me up. We could get everything done in less than 30 days. I could just finance the property. She was like, oh, okay. At that moment, the celebration had ended. And this is where I'm
Y'all
like,
start sweeping the confetti up.
The part I'm talking about, pop the balloons, cut the cake, get it to go, because you're not gonna sit here and eat it, And LaShawn does me like that too.
Absolutely,
I'm talking about boom.
But that's the difference between.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
The difference.
It's the difference between you having a circle of wisdom, and then folks, that's just out here
want to pat you on the back.
Man.
And, oh yeah, go ahead. Don't. And so I'm gonna let you finish.
So anyway, after, she said, oh, okay. And I'm waiting, like I'm holding my breath waiting. She was like, so why don't you just ask God to, pay for it? She was like, we've been talking about debt freedom.
Right.
In the inner circle community. And something super cool happened on this Monday night in our class. We paid off a car and several medical bills and all this other kind of stuff for people. We ended up, I think it was
about $600-700 or something like that.
Yeah, something like it was over $6,000 worth of debt that we paid out that was inside of our community on Monday night. Again, which is why community is super important. I'm talking about, one of our community members gets on there Monday night and leaves with her car paid off.
Yeah.
With no expectation. Like we didn't even it wasn't like tonight's, topic is debt freedom. We're going to pay off stuff. Make sure you show up. No, we was just there on a regular Monday night meeting like we always are. Yeah. So anyway,
if you would want your car paid off, y'all need to hashtag paid off in the chat. Put paid off in the chat if you want your car paid off.
So she's reminding me now, because this is Wednesday, this happens on Monday. She's reminding me, well, we on debt freedom. She was like, why don't you just believe God? Believe God for, a supernatural money to come in that you take care of the house. I was like, okay, bet.
That. A whole nother level of thinking though, right?
It opened, and it's not that I didn't believe for that because, I know that we believe God for supernatural things before.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, okay. I said, all right, and so we ended up dialoguing about this particular thing probably for like 30, 40 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like she done gave me a whole sermon with, 3 points and some cliff notes and everything. And I'm in that moment, not only was I challenged, but I was also grateful, right? I was grateful that I had a person that is in my circle of wisdom that would, even though, don't get me wrong, I just legit bought a house in 30 seconds.
Did?
We done searched long, near, and far to buy houses before. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I knew that was a big feat, but at the same time, I was like, she's right. Why am I thinking so small here?
Right.
She was like, what we tend to do is go straight back to default mode, right?
Right.
Because God had led me to the path to be in that particular moment, because I had been praying on my walks, about what he wanted me to do. And he literally led me to that place on Wednesday to be there to purchase this house. And then I checked out God right after I said, I won that property.
It was like
I checked out God and went right back to default mode. Like, oh, I know when I get an investment property, I go to the banker. I tell them how much I want to finance it for. I tell them how much we want to do the reconstruction for. Then we go through the terms of that. I fill out the paperwork. Blah 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 blah. We go.
Yeah, they deposit the check.
Went straight back to default mode. And what she helped me to realize was, man, you like can't expect that the same God that led you all the way here would then want you to go against the word and go into debt to get the property.
Right. If did you ask?
Did I ask? She was like, did you ask?
Yeah.
Did he say to finance it through the bank? Did he say to pay cash for it? Did he say, don't worry about it, I had the money to you before 30 days?
Right.
I was like
in a different way, because it ain't like, because it in our default mechanism, it's like, well, I have the money in the bank. Like that.
So then it didn't matter. But she was like, did he say pay for it with those funds?
Right.
And I was like, why didn't I ask?
Exactly. Because now I was like, Yeah, I know to do that.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? Like
it was such a, you know,
but that's what a mentor does.
Man,
right?
It was such an eye-opening experience for me. It wasn't that I was intentionally just cutting out God in the process,
right?
But I had what she made me realize was I was defaulting to saying, "Okay, thank you," and I dropped God off at the block.
So let me get this straight. You got the instructions on what you should do, but then you did not get the instructions on how you should do it.
Correct. Because I didn't ask.
Right. You just knew, okay, well, just go this direction.
You know, you just go and you run with it. And I think that that's why people need to realize how super important it is to have a circle of wisdom around you, because, you know, especially when you're cultivating these relationships and you're continuing to grow, you know, with these people over time, you know, I knew immediately I was supposed to call her. Now I'm thinking I was supposed to call her for celebration. I was really supposed to call her so that she could get me back on the path of you know, engaging Holy Spirit in this process. But I wasn't, you know, I wasn't thinking that that's why I was supposed to call her. But because these are my default mechanisms, what we're talking about today, having a circle of wisdom, having a, you know, community. And then last but not least, as we segue into it at the last minute, is knowing that change is the only constant.
Exactly.
And so I said to myself, Lord, are you teaching me right now, Lord, on the podcast? Change is the only constant.
Yeah.
And so I know how to finance an investment property.
Exactly.
I've done it, you know what I'm saying, several times over. Yeah. I know how to, you know what I'm saying? I know how to finance it through the bank. I know how to pay for it, right? Yeah. And in that moment, what it helped me to realize was God doesn't always have to be boxed into the things,
our natural way of doing things.
Of doing things.
If we believe, or if we allow and ask, okay, well, how do I do it?
Man,
you know what I'm saying? But
I'm talking about light bulb just clicked
a different level of thinking
off. And so in case you missed it, you know, the last thing that you would need to have as a part of this, and I'm not saying this is the absolute last thing, but the last thing we gonna talk about for this series is knowing, right? Literally knowing that change is the only constant.
Yeah.
Right. And even now, I'm A-okay with the information that she gave me. Like I wasn't offended that the celebration stopped abruptly. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, sad that now I don't know the rest of the plan. I was more so like, oh, okay, great. What else we talking about? Because at this point, I needed to change all of my energy into the direction of focusing on what God is going to tell me to do to take care of this property. How do you legitimately want me to finance, you know, this particular property? And for me, I'm okay with that. It's different. It's a change, right? And if we get into, you know, business, if we get into relationship, if we just any parenting, anything in life, if we get in there thinking that this is the only box, this is the only way that it can be done. If you one of them folks that say, oh, I always done it like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, well, this the only way, you know what I'm saying, they do it over here. Mm-hmm. Or, well, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. You know, like if you got those types of, you know, statements that you, or quotes that you use,
it's gonna be tough. And I don't want to breeze over this, but you said something that I feel like has tripped up a lot of people in our circle, and it probably has tripped us up a time or so. But being offended because that person didn't necessarily celebrate you in the way that you thought.
We did celebrate,
but I'm just in the way that you thought. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because what happens is you were still in a mind frame of being instructed. You know, because you respected your mentor. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So when she changed gears, you was okay with changing gears and saying, okay, well, let me hear what you got to say, versus man, why you got the rain on my parade? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's because I'm a student, right? Like I have been engaged in personal development, spiritual development, you know, all kinds of development, you know, for over a decade now. Mm-hmm. So, you know, constructive criticism doesn't offend me. And, you know, a lot of people, when they get on these journeys here, you know, you can't always be right. You know, you can't always expect things, you know, to go your way. And this isn't even one of those things. This was just, hey, I think, you know, you might have missed a marker here.
But let me ask you, but the truth of the matter is you had an idea of the way that you wanted to, that you wanted to take care of it.
I can't necessarily say that it was my idea. I was in default mode, right?
Well, that's what I'm
As
saying.
a real estate investor, right? We have certain bankers that we work with,
right?
And our process, default mode, is to just go to them and say, "Hey, got a new property. Need you to take care of that. Send me the paperwork."
That's it. Let's meet and sign.
There was no other, thought process to it. So I can't even say that I had came up with something. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was just the default mode.
Well, like I said, I think I said this last week, but it's hard to teach somebody something they think they already know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what happens is a lot of times I think, and what has happened is individuals, or we hear information, and because we think we know how we want it, how it needs to be done, then we turn off our listening ears. Like we completely ice out whatever it is that that somebody is trying to tell us or trying to help instruct us on it, right? And then we'll frame it and call it, man, they hating, or they ain't celebrating me the way that I, why you gotta be a Debbie Downer? Like, I'm gonna pay for it because I can pay for it. What do you mean? Everybody finance stuff or whatever, but if there's a different level of growth that is upon us, right, that we can actually enjoy or grow to, then why not explore that?
Yeah, I made a strong assumption that if you in here on Love and Business, that you actually want to grow, that you actually want to learn, that you're actually okay, with the change, because we wouldn't, intentionally, I'm not going to feed any type of information that's going to keep you stagnant, that doesn't help you to grow, that doesn't help you to be better. That's the whole concept and idea behind us even doing the podcast. And
but
so
you felt good when you called her. But see, that's what I'm saying. Some people, they'll feel good. Like, oh man, like let's say somebody, for instance, somebody buy a new car, right? They buy a new car. I'm like, man, I just got this 2024, blah, 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 blah.
Well, if your interest rate 25%, I ain't celebrating.
Exactly, right? So then it'd be like, oh, okay, you financed through the bank, okay, yeah, man, yeah, they gave me, I financed it for 8 years, and 17% interest. And you're like, oh, okay, then did you run the numbers on that? Like, hey, let's talk through this, right? Because I now want to, as a friend or as a colleague or somebody that's in the circle, like, okay, well, look, I just want you to know, like, kind of what you put yourself up against here. You know what I mean? Or do you really know what you put yourself up against? Because you could just be thinking, I can afford $350 or $400 for the next 7 to 8 years.
At that type of interest rate, it's $700 a month.
Well, I'm just, they gonna be done pay, more
they
interest
pay for
than
that car 12 times.
But
yeah, if you're not okay with learning and growing and becoming a better person, that information like that, you're gonna take offense to
exactly.
it. And so I've learned, like, this is my deal now, and I'm putting myself out there. But if I hit you with the you ain't gotta worry about me telling you nothing else. It's like, especially if you'd have called me, ask me for some information, and then you tell me what it is.
Why my information I'm giving you won't necessarily be feasible.
I'm telling you, okay.
She's saying, be blessed as you go.
Be blessed as you go, because I don't have no more information for you. So if you never got the okay from me, just know I done wrote it off at that particular moment. We can go ahead and change the subject to how's the weather, because I'm done with, that particular thing. But I mean, back to your deal, I wasn't offended, by the information, because number one, I trusted,
the source.
I trusted the source. But even if I didn't, I'm not one, to say that if I don't hear something that makes sense to me, you know what I'm saying, that I can't apply that wisdom, you know what I'm saying? And it's important, like we're talking about now, change is the only constant. I had to realize in that moment, look, first of all, I don't take it lightly when she speaks, about any particular thing. And I definitely didn't take it lightly that I had a strong urge to call her. She say, my mama said she thinks she's gotten the okay before. You might have got an okay.
That voice inflection is a little different. I'm telling you now. I didn't got it before.
It's soprano. It's that okay is a soprano. Okay. And when you get that, don't worry about it. I'm not saying nothing else.
Not about that.
So if I don't know if anybody else on here done got the soprano okay, but if you have, I've just told you my secret. Yeah. She say I've got it for sure. Hey, that's just how I roll. But I don't even know what I was saying, man. She made me forget my thing. I was talking something about son. I don't know. Golly, you made me forget it. Hey, okay. Nah, but listen, if in this mindset, right? To have this type of mindset, legit, your default mechanism has to be that change is the only constant I know. And if it's not, you're gonna make this journey way more difficult than it has to be. And so I took that pivot moment, on that phone call with her yesterday, and I grew from it, because number one, I realized that as a believer, I had boxed God. Not even just boxed him. I had left him on the curb. Right.
You just
I left him back there at the courthouse after what I'm saying? After I signed them papers, I was like, thank you, Jesus. And I left him right there.
But them papers, but ready to sign them papers.
You know what I'm saying? I signed those papers. I was like, thank you, God.
That's it.
That's it.
Now I got the rest.
I got him, my boy. I'm gonna come at, I was it. All right, my boy.
Go ease on down the road.
She talked to me, I felt like that's how I did God. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you depicted it, huh?
Yeah. I said, golly, I got up, I was walking, pacing in my office while she was talking. I'm just like, golly, man, did I really just do this to God? Like, put me over here, you know what I'm saying, put me in a position, to be able to get the property, and then I left him over at the courthouse.
You like, you told me what to do, but I'm gone before I even hear how to do it.
And I'm like, man, and because I had went back to, what I am accustomed to doing, right. And here I am, telling you, right, that change is the only constant that you should know. And I was still, putting myself in a default mode to doing what I just know to do.
Right.
And sometimes we can miss big in business. We can miss big in life, trying to do things the same way, what I'm saying, that we have always done them.
100%.
I'm talking about it will cripple us if we don't learn how to, what I'm saying, just think differently, be around different people,
exactly,
explore different opportunities,
But and the thing is, everything that you're talking about, right? It's hard to get it out of ourselves, which is why mentors and communities are so important.
Yes, you know what I mean? People help you to see you. Because when you look in the mirror, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. And it could just be kids. And I don't know if my kids is watching tonight. They probably not. They probably watch TV, so I don't know. But, it's weird to me that when I choose to come downstairs, they still got crusty stuff in their face. And they done been understand in it for the mirror.
Of me.
They have been in the mirror this morning.
Did you
How do you not see this crust in your face?
Then
But that's how we are as people, right? You know what I'm saying? We out here doing this dumb stuff and we can't see it, but then you get these good mentors, you get these good circle of wisdom, you get this good community, and they help you to see the crust in your face. Anybody else kids coming down with crust in their face?
I'm just saying this.
And I just asked the question. I don't say, I said, did you wash your face this morning? They say, yes. Did you brush your teeth tonight? Yes. Okay, well, go over there and wash again.
Got some, you know what I'm saying? Your eye there,
you got crust in your face. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, maybe you should try to wash it a different way.
Or something like
the way that you are washed.
You sprinkle water on your face. You splash the
man, I saw a video the other day, and I should have signed my name under it. She said, I no longer feel any guilt for how my children look when they leave my home anymore. That's what she said. And I was 100% with her. She said, because I have given them the steps. She said, I have coached them through. I have given them clean clothes. I have taught them how to wash their face. I have shown them how to brush their teeth. I have given them proper washing instructions. And yet and still, they still come out looking like they looking.
Nah,
I don't feel guilty no more. All mom guilt has been released. So I now say that ain't had nothing to do with me.
That dad guilt still there. Then.
Okay, but you can add it because if they got to wash twice and they still got a little crust on the side, I'm over.
I'm gonna take the towel and wash it for myself. And when my hand get finished rubbing it, they face gonna be red, but it gonna be clean.
I'm sorry, the mom guilt is gone because you got that little bit when you rushing to get out of the house and maybe you didn't give them the second look. And then they get out and they done wore some pants that should have been probably put in the 100%. Goodwill.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I keep a little bottle of water with a little dab in the bottom of it. So you can, dab it on that better than licking my fingers and cleaning their face.
That's what your community do for you.
That's what it
man.
do.
That's what your community do for you. They help you to see. See that Zadie said she with me.
Man,
because these kids be out here looking how they looking. And I'm telling you, Kirsten got clothes in her closet with, I'm talking about, is umpteen clothes in there with tags on them. Yeah. And Kirsten would come out with a shirt that is like a 2T. And she don't wear no 2T no more. But you go in her closet and it's tags hanging on everything. Everything.
That's her favorite. That's her favorite. She like it.
Oh man, I'm not. That's why you need a community. You need a community of people to tell you that shirt is too little, ma'am. Hey, you should not wear that.
I'm just saying,
sir. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do not tuck that shirt in.
And here's what I gotta say. Be honest. Right. Don't get in the community and go to lying about, you know what I'm saying, your successes or what you really not struggling with, because then you don't really get the help that you need.
Right. Because if you ain't brush your teeth, I can smell your breath. I know.
For real.
Brush your teeth, man.
Yeah, for real. But that's what a lot of times I think, people get in communities and then they just like, oh yeah, only thing I'm working on is, this, or I ain't having no problem with that. And like, man,
when you honest, you can get, you know what I'm saying, you can actually get really exponential growth. You know what I'm saying? When you transparent about that thing,
because somebody else out there is struggling with the same thing or is having the same challenge. So okay, they came over in some kind of way, or hey, look, let's brainstorm together, because now our energy is focused on this. You got the same problem that I have, so now let's work together to do that. You know what I mean? So I mean, don't lie to yourself and don't lie to other people. Because my daughter come through with that shirt on or them pants that's looking like unofficial capris that it's like, hey, listen, ain't it?
There's help for you here.
Got some socks on that come up to a shin. I'm like, come on, man, what are we doing here? Like, your drip is
but that's the thing. I mean, we laugh about that, but that's, you know what I'm saying, that's legitimately how we look to our peers. When they're there to help us, when there's, information available to us, and we ain't receiving it. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. But that's all that's all I'm gonna say on that is if you really want to grow, if you really want to develop in you know what I'm saying, the area of mindset, you gotta have a good circle of wisdom. Yeah. You got to have a good community of peers around you that are on the same journey, not just folks that can tell you the latest thing on Netflix to watch or what's on sale this weekend. Right. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the community is going to help you to grow and expand, as it relates to your mindset, your business, your personal growth, your spiritual growth, all of that stuff. And if those people aren't, being that iron, that sharpening iron, and I don't want to say forcing you to change, but helping you to see the things that you need to change, helping you to see the areas, that you need to make some tweaks, then you probably don't have the right crew. But we realized at some point in time that we couldn't keep saying things like, well, this is the way we've always done it, or, this is the only way that I know how to do it. Well, this is all I have access to. Right. No, you got to figure out some piece on the board that you can move, something that you can change, something that you can adjust to help you to, be bigger and better, down the road. But if you can't develop the mindset that change is the only constant, I know you will drown out here in these business streets. Yeah. It's as simple as I can tell you, because I never thought. Yeah. Never thought.
Stay consistent and be flexible in the approach. And consistent in the goal.
That's it, man. That's
flexible in the approach, consistent in the goal.
Yes, sir. Well, I think we've rounded out the you versus millionaire mentality. Yeah, we did a strong 3 weeks on that, so we're not gonna touch this back again.
Can't touch this
next week. I don't even think we could touch this next week if we wanted to. I think it might be. I don't think we're traveling. I should have looked at my schedule sooner, but I do believe for the next 2 weeks, we won't be able to do a podcast. Maybe even more. Like, I don't know. We may not be back until December, guys. Maybe we'll do some recorded. We might have to do some recorded some recorded podcasts. We may have to do some that are not live. We'll have to see what our schedule does here, but we're parents. Okay. We have kids. They're very actively involved in some things. And I think we mentioned before that Caitlin is a part of a concert choir now. And she has multiple performances that are coming up. And then, of course, one of those Thursdays is Thanksgiving. So I figured, we'd probably be eating veganish food.
She got to bring her
you can go.
everywhere
You can go.
she go.
I'm gonna pack you up and send you down there to your mom and them house.
Oh, you ain't got to pack me up. Ain't got to pack me up.
I don't think I don't know.
I go to your mom and them house.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
Meal.
I don't know. I mean, we might be able to do it. It just depends on when the choir concerts end and stuff like that. I don't know if we'd be able to get back in time to be able to do the podcast for 8 like we always do. My hope is that we won't be until December, but it's very possible, guys. So if it is, we're so sorry, but we love our kids and we're gonna be there and be of good support. So I can't wait to see what I'm gonna make either, AB. I haven't had meat since
she gonna have some greens.
That's a lot of Sundays.
Beans,
I haven't had meat since August. Yeah, you can do beans, greens, tomatoes,
exactly.
potatoes. Get all of that. I can eat a lot of different stuff for Thanksgiving. But I have not had meat since August, so I don't know if turkey is gonna be on the list for me.
Yeah,
I know you're gonna fry a turkey, man.
We go baptize.
You're gonna baptize them in the peanut oil.
We go baptize.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. Is anybody else not doing meat for Thanksgiving? I know it's a lot of people, in my community that's not doing meat right now. I don't know. I have the jury is still out on whether I'm gonna do turkey or not. I also have not had bread since August, and this is how you know that God is real, because I could have bread with bread.
Yeah, she's a bread connoisseur.
And so I'm excited to see what's gonna happen here on
she's delivered.
The cornbread dressing.
Yeah.
So my Lord, we're gonna see. She said she's gonna try. So we're gonna see what
try.
I don't think I'm gonna do mushroom meat for Thanksgiving because me and that man didn't quite get along all that well. So not sure if I'm gonna get to do mushrooms for Thanksgiving. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that we at least get to maybe tip in and say hello before Thanksgiving. But if we don't, we hope that you guys have a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope you spend great times with your family. Yes, make sure you're continuing to drink your beet juice.
Yeah.
We have so many people. I think I'm going to make a certificate. AB, you should hook me up with a certificate, man. I need a beet juice community certificate to be able to give out to all of my beet juice community members. I need a certificate. I do, to be able to give out, because these people are doing some big things right now.
They are. I can't wait till my beets grow in the garden and I'm gonna see.
Yeah, we can have a certificate to give out to everybody that's been participating. I think, first of all, before we go, I just want to say, I think it is absolutely amazing that people are out here drinking beet juice. They are reading the Bible. They are doing this month we're doing a squat challenge with Coach Felicia. I mean, it's a laundry list of things that we're doing.
BBS? Y'all got BBS?
No, I don't know what that is.
Bible and squats?
It's more than just that.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
It's a list of things, I came up with a list of 10 things, and people are joining in. You're welcome to join us at any given time.
See what happens.
One meal a day without meat.
Okay.
I think by default you might get to do that for breakfast, because I just refuse to cook meat for breakfast anymore. But you can join in on any of the 10 of the list. We're doing a walk with the Lord, 10 to 15 minutes out of the day. So anything, any of those things that you want to do, you can do.
AB said she missed the list. I think I missed the list too. AB, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I knew.
Yeah, you don't follow me on Facebook. But it's on my Facebook page. I actually just re-upped on it either this morning or yesterday. I posted just as a check-in, asking everybody how are they doing, with the list. And a lot of people are, taking cold showers now. One guy I think he was supposed to do his first cold plunge. One of my classmates did her first cold plunge. She said she had less pain from her rheumatoid arthritis now.
Oh, really?
From doing cold plunges.
Cold plunges, they do it. They get it about you.
Yeah. So I just want to say shout out to everybody that has decided to make better life choices just because you want to be a better person. And so I'm happy for you guys. I'm excited. Thank y'all for joining in once again. On another Thursday night episode of Love and Business. I hope that we get to see you guys soon. If not, then we'll see you in December.
Yep. Remember to keep your beats, Bible, and your squats.
You know going. What? I'm gonna hit the end button.
BBS, baby.
Y'all have a good night. We love y'all, but we're not gonna stay on here with this foolishness.